Hey, what's up? Lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss Volume 1 of Heartstopper, written by Alice Oseman. So this originally came out as a webtoon series in 2018, I believe. There was a 2019 physical release in England, then there's the 2020 physical release in America. So much to discuss, right? So much to discuss. This is what inspired, obviously, and is based off of the incredible production on Netflix right now. Heartstopper season 1 has 8 episodes, right? Volume 1 is episodes 1, 2, 3, roughly. It ends with the kiss at the St. George Hotel for Harry's birthday party. That's where this ends. And then the second book, Volume 2, picks up after that event, right? So, whew, lot to discuss. There's differences, of course, between a film project and a book, right? So an adaptation based off of a book is going to have differences. We all know that. We all know that, right? There's never going to be a carbon copy, word for word, scene for scene, right? Certain things are introduced, certain things are in one thing, certain things are not in another thing. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not okay. This is a prime example of it being okay. Alice Oseman is the creator, writer of the actual book, of the actual material. This Heartstopper comic series is based off of, is not based off of, it's another stem from her debut novel, Solitaire, which we have to read. We're going to read the novels after we read the Heartstopper books. But Nick and Charlie are introduced in Solitaire. Solitaire is Tori Spring's story. And Nick and Charlie are introduced, but Alice always wanted to get a little backstory on them. How did the two of them become such a strong pair? So this is their introduction, right? So they were, Charlie was 14 when he met Nick at 16. So it's they meet in their form group. Nick, asks him to join rugby. Nick is very flirtatious in this book compared to the show, I have to admit. Charlie still likes Nick throughout the entirety. So Isaac and Elle are not in this book. I don't know. I know Elle's in the next book. I don't think Isaac is in the books. I think Isaac was changed from Charlie's friend Aled, who is in the next book. Aled's not in this book. Harry Green is in this book. Ben is in this book. Tara is in this book. Darcy is shown. She doesn't actually speak, but she's in this book. So there's no Higgs Girls' School scenes in Volume 1. It's pretty much just Truman and Charlie and Nick hanging out constantly on the weekends, spending almost every day together over Easter break. Little things, right? Charlie has a younger brother, 6-year-old younger brother in the book. Doesn't exist in the show, and that's okay. I know Alice had recently said that she didn't want to. The purpose of the younger brother character is to just bring cuteness, but like the show already has that cute element to it, so it's fine. One thing I really, really like, and again, it's just scene to scene kind of a thing. I really like how they curse a lot in the book, but they don't curse in the show. Very different. So when Nick pulls Ben off of Charlie in the show, he says, "Go on then, piss off," right? But in the book, he curses him out. Very different. Very different level of emotion within the show and the book, but it's okay. Certain scenes in the show have a lot more emotion to it because there's the character buildup. There's the kind of gaspy, teary-eyed, Nick hugging Charlie constantly as he's questioning himself. The whole scene of them on the couch, him trying to hover his hand over. They're watching Back to the Future in the book. I think they're just watching a TV show in the film, because I distinctly know what Back to the Future sounds like, and that's not Back to the Future in the show. So there's differences, right? But it's okay. Tao is a great character in this, but there's no dynamic of Tao, Elle, Isaac, and Charlie as a foursome film night, figuring out if Charlie's straight or not. Tao just basically tells him, "Hey, I heard from someone, that he likes this girl, Tara Jones, at the girls' school." What I find very interesting about the book is Nick's friends are very suspicious of him liking Charlie. In the show, they don't really pay attention that much. But in the book, they definitely pay attention, especially during rugby. But what's great about this is that it's thick, right? But it's very large. It's large panels. It's very large panels of comics. So it goes very quick. I read this super quick, so we're going to read the other ones super quick, obviously, throughout the time of, in between stuff that I have to do. But the best thing that I explained about the show, and I had to rewatch my own review, which is really a reaction video, to be completely honest. But I summarized by saying you just feel giddy by watching this, right? And I've seen Heartstopper, season 1 of Heartstopper. I've seen it 8 times. I've seen it 8 times so far. Currently, I'm recording this on Monday, June 13th at 10:36 a.m. That is the timestamp of when I am actually speaking to this camera. So I've seen it 8 times. 8 times. Sometimes binged all 8 episodes, one right after each other. Sometimes I've split it up, episode or 2 here or there. But collectively, I've seen it 8 times since my original time watching it. I've cried every single time watching it. And when you watch it, you're just so giddy. You're just so in love with these characters because they get to be happy. They get to be appreciated. They get to be cared for. They get to be liked for being them. And that's what Charlie said. Charlie said to Tori, when they're driving to school on the bus, I guess I'll just settle for someone who's tall. But really just someone who likes to be with me. And then Nick says, while they're, setting drums up, I just like being with you. Beautiful. Gorgeous, right? Story of Nat, story of Elle and Tao, story of Darcy and Tara. Incredible story arcs, right? It's what, 3 hours, 45 minutes long in total, roughly. So less than 4 hours, you can literally knock it out. It's so important for representation matters, and it's something that I wish that I had when I was a kid, when I was in high school, when I was a teenager, questioning my own sexuality, questioning where my place in the world was, questioning my likes, my dislikes, my interests, my hobbies. I didn't have anything like that. So in a sense, I'm making up for lost time by constantly watching it. And that's why I had to get the books immediately. That's why I had to read them as soon as they came in, because I need to see what I didn't see back then. I need to see now what I should have seen then, but that material didn't exist then. So now that this material exists, kids of these days, they're so lucky. But this is an incredible, incredible book, an incredible franchise because of how realistic it is. Question, problems in life, sticking up for yourself. Mr. Ajayi isn't in this book, now that we're talking about differences between books and stuff, because he's a very supportive teacher. But this is a very quick read, a very, very quick and a very incredible book. I was very nervous to read it, to be completely honest, because I love the show so much. I'm very nervous reading books after I watch shows or movies that they're based off of, because I love books. I love books, but I also love film. So like the Maze Runner books, right? I haven't read them because I love the movies so much, but I'm going to read them eventually. The Percy Jackson books, obsessed with. But the 2 movies that we got from Fox is an embarrassment to the franchise, despite the fact that the actors were incredible, the story was garbage. So now that Disney has the property and Rick Riordan, the creator, is one of the writers on the show, very excited for that. Alice Oseman being the writer-creator of the Netflix show, being the writer-creator of the actual book, of the actual stories, incredible. So she's allowed to make her changes, and it works. And there's nothing wrong with that. The changes from the book to the show work. Very, very well. Very well. So this is a very quick read, very fast, summarizes the first 3 episodes, ends with the kiss, and on to volume 2. What happens next after the kiss? Mucho mahalo.